my Tesla 2-year anniversary. Thanks for joining me. And as a special, this week, the subscribe button's free. Yes, really. I'm Brian. Welcome to my Tesla weekend. I just love that. I'm gonna make some changes to that in the coming months. Add some different clips here and there. Oh, we have some fun. So here's what we're going to discuss today. We're going to discuss some charts, some successes, some less successes, some lessons learned, and what comes next, and how you can help. And don't worry, like in previous milestone videos, I'm not going to ask you for money, because that's not what it's about today. No, today it's about something else. Today it's about other kinds of help, but we'll get to that later. By the way, I asked AI to make me a Tesla 2-year anniversary picture, and these are the magic it came up with. Lofalagala 22, T 23. I'd say it's not coming to take your design job, but it just did. Hey, are you a designer? Do you want to help me out? That'd be awesome. So let's talk about some charts. This is a real chart. It's in real time. That's how many subscribers I have. 17 Bob. Pretty cool. This is my lifetime everything. 2.2 million views. That's pretty good. 221,000 watches. Yeah. But let's look at, let's go into the advanced mode so we can see where the real successes lie. Wait, where the heck is the 163,000 views? Gotta think that's the title. Who knows? Sandy, 74,000. Pretty good. And then, some other ones there. Yeah, production has started. Things like that are exciting. They don't happen every day unless you lie. And I don't feel like doing that to you guys. How much solar's on the roof? That's a pretty good one. $94. So it's not great. And it's weird. The income is very inconsistent. This one got $29 because it was right as the monetization turned on. It's a great video. I'm so proud of it. It's the kind of thing I like to do, but it's so much work. This was probably a 25-hour video. Whereas, this one took 13 minutes and 19 seconds to shoot. Editing was probably an hour, was probably 2-3 hours, but still, it's not the point. And yeah, you can see the revenue is very inconsistent. And I've had some recent ones that were kind of shocking. Tesla Semi will crush the competition. 9,800 views, $9.91. It's not ad restricted or anything. It just didn't make any money. I don't know. It's very interesting. Let's change the chart to weekly. Gives a different picture. You can see this was my do or die right here. And I made it. I got enough subscribers and things were going pretty good. And then, since then they've been kind of so-so. It was a tough time to get into the Tesla game. There are only maybe 2-ish channels that are newer than mine, that are bigger than mine. Because mostly, if you don't hit this critical mass right away, you just disappear. And I really thought I was hitting critical mass, and I've had some good times. This was, this particular week, I had a bunch of different big things happen. I want to say Dylan from Electrified, Best in Tesla, and also maybe Electric or some others might have linked something. I don't recall now. And then in February, we had the first interview with Sandy. And that's a success we'll get to in a second. And then the whole TeslaCon Texas thing happened, and the hard copyright strike really took a bite. But we're kind of back on track. It's pretty weird, pretty difficult sometimes. Subscribers, same kind of deal. Boy, you get some. This was the good week, the end of December, when things finally kicked off, thanks to Dylan at Electrified. Thank you, Dylan. You saved the channel. Was this February? No, October. Not sure what happened. But yeah, there were some good things that happened over time. That might have been Lars from Best in Tesla or Dylan or both. I'm not sure. I don't recall now. But there were some good things that have happened and some bad things. and some things that are so-so. So yeah, that's the charts. And we could look at the second channel, but they're less exciting than this. And yes, this really is my actual revenue for 2+ years. Some channels do great on YouTube, some less so. But again, I'm not asking for money, not today. So what are my successes? Well, the first ones would be my predictions. I got some real heat early on for my predictions, but they turned out to be right. And it's not because I'm a genius, and it's not because I know construction. It's because I know how to crunch numbers. And you guys have seen enough of my spreadsheets to know. And also when it comes to predicting quarterly production, I'm very good. I'm very good. Sometimes I am the best. And some folks who are famously the best are often the wrongest. Because it's really hard. Predicting the future without the benefit of time travel is increasingly difficult now that time travel's been outlawed. But now that it has, it's been outlawed forever, so it's complicated. My next big success, I would say, was the interviews. In the early days, I really tried to do interviews, and I couldn't get anyone to say yes. And that made it difficult. Jeff said yes. The interview was silly, and it did not go well. It was not received well. It went well. The Tesla taxi interview, it was a good interview. Nobody cared. It didn't do well. These were kind of, And then the Sandy interview happened. And that was kind of an ambush. I suspected he might be there. I had my questions ready. He was there. He talked, and it was wonderful. And that was a big day. And that was a turning point. I also interviewed Mark from Arcimoto that day, and that went well enough, but not good enough by his standards. He said, I can do better, come back. And we did more interviews. And then I interviewed Matt Smith and Jordan Giesecke and Lars from Best in Tesla. Some really great people. Tesla Herbert, Tesla Boomer Mama. Some really great people. Electrify, Aptera. It just keeps getting better. And then, of course, I recently interviewed Sandy again. That was wonderful. And now it's gotten easy to get interviews. I call that a success, and I'm very good at them. I prepare like crazy, and it works. So what else have we got for successes? Oh, I got to travel. I got to have my meet and greet in Texas. That went really well. Our permit was for 50 people. We upgraded it to 100. Oh, look at that, a clever robot. That could be anybody. And we ended up having, this was shot at about 11 a.m. It started at noon. We ended up getting probably 700 people there that day. And that's a success. That's a next step I need to mention, by the way. 10:30 a.m., 90 minutes before it started. We showed up hours early to set up, and it was already mobbed. It was exciting. That's a success. I got to speak at Fully Charged. That's a big success. I got to meet Lars and Dr. Know-It-All for the second time. It was wonderful. I got to go to TeslaCon in Florida, which was wonderful. It was a great thing. I got so many interviews out of it. So those are all successes. So the channel's growing. It's growing, but the growth is so slow. So I count that as a success, but not a complete success, you know? I guess I'd say my biggest success so far is you guys, my fans, my patrons, the people who believe in me and want more of this somehow. Early on, I was worried about finding my voice, and I didn't know how to. Should I be serious? Should I try to do an announcer voice? And eventually I realized I need to find my audience rather than my voice, because you guys are going to like me or not like me. I can't control that. So then there's the non-success parts. I've been to 3 factories now, and I've never gotten in. I've yet to see the inside of a factory. And I was pretty surprised with the one in Texas, because there are very few people who know more about that factory than me who are not under non-disclosure agreements. But Tesla doesn't have a PR department, so how could they possibly know that they need to let me in? How could they know? They can't. Another non-success, I guess, would say, I've had some videos that I thought were going to go big that just kind of fizzled. I've had trouble getting the algorithm to actually like me enough to show me. Sometimes you get these notifications that say, oh, your recent video didn't do very well. Here's why. This should help you. We didn't show it to anybody. I'm like, well, there's your problem. And then I'll get one that goes really big and they go, oh, it really worked. Something about this video really worked. Click here to learn more. You click and it says, we showed it to more people. Yeah, that's how it works. YouTube is more of a search engine than anything else. And another problem we get is the very, very short tail on these videos. So if we look at the stats again, let's just pick one. This big one. Let's do that. The tail is very short. If you look at views, it went immediately to 161,000. January 9th, a year ago. And then it's barely gone up since then. There's no long tail. Videos don't generally keep climbing. Tesla news is news. It doesn't keep going. So it's kind of painful that way. So those are the non-successes. I've had some others where, like, I guess I would say a non-success would be, there have been a couple of events I've attended that I did not get to speak at. And I find that frustrating. I guess I could have been, in one case, more assertive, and in another case, more lucky. Because I know things that other people don't. And it's interesting to watch people figure that out, I guess. So looking at the growth, yeah, it's not going great. Daily average, 7 new subscribers. I should make this bigger. Yeah, I can make that bigger. 7 new subscribers. But if you look, it says, this channel might be making $247 a month, and I am making more than that, even on YouTube. But if you look at the future projections, I'm likely to hit 100,000 subscribers in 3.5 years. Ooh, because 100,000 is a magic number. Really, 50,000 is, and even that's 2 years out. 50,000 is when you start getting sponsorships and being taken quite seriously. You get asked to events, and even that is assuming an increase in the growth. So I've got my work cut out for me, is what I'm saying. And I guess another problem I'm having is verification. On YouTube, you don't get a check mark that says you're really you until you get 100,000 subscribers. And on Twitter, it's currently 10,000. I'm at like 4,000 something Twitter followers. And again, my uptick is going very slow. And on that, I should be able to buy it soon, which is great for me, maybe not as great for others. Paying $100 a year to diminish the likelihood of others being able to commit fraud in my name is frustrating. I think that's not great for Twitter generally, but I'm not in charge of Twitter, and it doesn't affect me, I guess. So the lessons I've learned is that being kind is rewarded sometimes, and at the very least it feels good. When I attack people, I don't attack them, I attack their ideas. When, I don't need to throw shade. I don't need to call people out. I don't need to get political. Because if I shared my politics, statistically, half of you would disagree. I'm not here to talk about that. I'm here to talk about Tesla and sometimes SpaceX and sometimes some other things. It doesn't matter. We're all on the same mission in this regard. Let's stay there. So being kind has worked for me. Another thing I've learned that I need to do, and I still need to do this, is be more assertive. I need to ask. I went to a Tesla owners event in Oregon last night, and I wasn't assertive. There was a guest who had canceled. I should have asked if I could take their spot. They didn't mention I should have said, hey, can you just mention I'm here and ask if anyone wants to come over and say hello. I should have done that, but I just didn't. And that was a mistake. and one I'll learn from. So be kind, be assertive, and be consistent. Because when you don't publish for a couple days, YouTube really punishes you. So those are the lessons learned. So what comes next? Well, the first thing I want to mention is I've got some speaking engagements coming up. It looks like I'll be in the UK in April for the big fully charged event there. I will also be bringing 2 of my sons with me and then taking them to Ireland, which is something they've always wanted to do. We are the wee folk of the Emerald Isle, so that should be good. That should be something that we should have done before, but travel was not a thing when they first became adults. I'll be in Michigan almost certainly for their big event in the summer. Seattle is having a big TeslaCon next summer. I assume I'll be at that. I have contacts there. I am from the area. I'm in the Twitter group for the Northwest. I assume I'll be there. And then in the fall, there's going to be 2 events in Vancouver BC, which I should probably be at. One of them would be fully charged. The other would be Evolution 23. It was supposed to be a 22, but it was canceled, unfortunately. So what else is coming? Because this is the thing. Remember, we're in the next phase. It's the most of the reason for this video. Lifestyle. Yes, I'm going to get healthier. I'm going to lose some weight. There. I'm going to make some changes. I'm going to try and get my schedule a little better, my weight a little better, my diet a little better, all of it a little better. Without going into detail, there are medical things that I need to address, and I will be addressing them. I have addressed them. It's personal. In terms of a car, there's a non-zero chance I will have access to a Tesla Model Y around May, where I would be a fleet manager for a fleet of 1 car. But I would get to use it myself when it's not in use. That would be amazing, because a lot of people give me a hard time. They're like, well, what Tesla do you own? How can you be an authority if you don't drive one? My family don't fit in one that costs less than $100,000. So I struggle with that. And even if it was 50 grand, that's still money. So I've done very well. By my standards, not that well. All of my investments are in my house and my retirement account, both of which I can't effectively touch. So that's where we get into the new part. And I have a little bit of money coming in soon. I don't know when, but soon, certainly in the next 3 to 6 months, that will extend my window of opportunity to do this, to make this happen. So what's going to happen is I'm going to act as if. You know, it's a chicken and egg equation. How do you grow if you don't have an editor? How do you grow if you don't have a budget? How do you well, I get some opportunities. I got all these interview opportunities recently because I was able to go to Florida. I wasn't able to go to Florida and publish at the same time. That hurt. I'm going to try and do both. I'm going to act as if. I'm going to commit to losing money, if that's what it takes, through 2023 and see where it goes. If I can hit critical mass and keep going, I'll do that. And if I can't, I'll scale back to weekends. I'll scale back. I'm hoping to, in 2023, publish as close to daily as possible and at least 2+ times a week on the second channel. The second channel is a labor of love, but I love it. I'm going to update the studio so I don't look like a stand-up comedian, because it's time. And I'm going to get editors. Now, I've had some editors before who were not sufficiently familiar with Tesla and what I was talking about, so that I would have to give them the footage and timestamp the footage and give them the graphics and make the graphics. So at that point, just make the video. Just do it yourself. My son had been editing for a very short time, and he decided it felt too much like work, which it was. I was paying him. I've got more sons. I will work on that. But I want to take it to the next level. I think it's time to make a website. And I don't want to make it myself because I haven't made websites in a long time. I did that professionally in a different life. I want a website. I think it's time. Other channels have websites. At the very least, it provides information, but it can provide resources for fans to connect. I want to have a Discord for fans, for patrons, and for a brain trust. I need you in my brain trust. This is where we bounce ideas around. This is where we start the research. This is where we figure out what we should be doing so we can do it and make it easy. There was a channel I got to talk with, a very big channel, a multi-million subscriber channel, who does things in a very interesting way. He has two guys who scour social media and come up with topics for his channel. Then he looks at the topics and picks the ones he likes and sends them over to two different researchers who research the topics and write the stories. He then rewrites them, hits record, does the pretty face routine, and when he hits stop, it goes straight to the cloud where the script, the video are grabbed by an editor and finished. Now, I'm not looking to get to that level. I mean, I'd love to. We could do 10 videos a day. But that's something bigger channels do, and it allows them to maintain their sanity while still producing good amounts of high-quality content. And that's where I need contributors. I'd like to, on the site, have companion articles with the videos that I put up. I'd like to host videos of other good YouTubers and put companion articles up with those. And that would promote them. It would promote everyone. It would be good for the community. I want to do all that stuff. But I don't have the headspace to do it by myself. So maybe that's something we could work on. So that, the website, the contributors, the Discord, all of it, the editors, that's what's coming next. Another way you can help is by subscribing if you haven't. I know you have, but subscribe anyway. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure the notification's on. When people talk about who's an expert, mention my name. When you see an opportunity to talk with someone who has expertise, help me out. Drop me a line. Let me know. When there's an event coming up that I should be at, let me know. I miss a lot of those. Tell a friend. I don't know. It's not dollars I need, it's subscribers I need. I mean, I could use both, but really if you have the subscribers, the money follows, and that's what I need. So I want to thank you guys for being here, because you are the reason, no joke, that this actually gets to happen, and I thank you so much. That's it. We went long enough. Stay tuned, stay juicy, and you know what? I can't wait to hear from you clever robots on the flippity flop.